She hid in the restroom to answer a video call from her husband, but after just a few words, her expression suddenly changed. She hung up quickly, in a fluster. Her black colleague walked in casually, fearing that her husband would discover the secret between her and her colleague. Bill offered to drive her home. On the way, her husband kept calling. She rejected every call. This would be the most regretful decision she had ever made. When they stopped at a gas station, Bill, feeling exhausted, wanted to go buy a cup of coffee. When she went to pay, she was surprised to see no one at the counter. This made her feel a little uneasy. She left the money on the counter and hurried out, but when she looked up, she saw a pool of blood. The bookshelf in front of her was splattered all over with it. Realizing that something was terribly wrong, she quickened her pace, but the next second, a bullet whizzed past her. She then called out her colleague's name. Her colleague didn't hear her shout, but he did notice something strange. The dashboard showed that the fuel was running low. Confused, he got down on the ground to check, and saw a hole in the fuel tank. Gasoline was leaking out. He quickly got out of the car and walked toward the store, completely unaware that he had just stepped into hell. While exploring the wilderness, a woman stumbled upon a cave. She stayed in the mysterious cave for only an hour. But when she came out, she was shocked to find that the earth seemed to have moved hundreds of years into the future. The outside had turned into a barren wasteland, and the air was filled with a strange and unpleasant smell. She took out her phone and tried to get a signal. When she looked up, she discovered that humans had migrated to the upper atmosphere. No one on the ground could respond. As a massive sandstorm approached, Carla had no choice but to retreat back into the cave. At this time, her companions in the cave were still chatting and laughing, completely unaware of the seriousness of the problem. But after hearing her description, they didn't believe her. According to them, she had only been gone for 2 seconds. Was her words just a joke? Fortunately, they had brought a camera, which recorded several hours of footage. Within just 2 seconds, they finally realized the gravity of the situation. Time in the cave was passing, millions of times slower than the outside world. They noticed that the sunlight was flickering rapidly. At first, they thought it was due to the clouds, but they soon realized that each flicker represented an entire day. What they were seeing was the sun, rising and setting at high speed. At this moment, Billy felt regretful. She shouldn't have led the team on this expedition to find the legendary hot spring that could make people stay young forever. But Jesse looked up at the flickering sun and suddenly understood. The hot spring must be hidden in the cave. But by this time, the teammates had lost their patience. They thought that even if they found the hot spring now, it would be useless, because they would never be able to return home. Jesse believed that as long as they were alive, there was still hope. She hoped her teammates could trust her. Just then, the cave began to change. While Bill was cleaning at the police station, she suddenly noticed a huge mistake. She spotted an error in the case details written on the blackboard. She tossed the lollipop from her mouth aside. She started thinking, and soon realized that the police had got it completely wrong. They had mistaken the victim for a suspect, so she took it upon herself to alter the content on the blackboard. After finishing, she even danced merrily around the police station. But the next day, the detective in charge of the case found that his notes on the blackboard had been changed. Who did this? Who altered the content on my blackboard? This is no joke. Everyone hurriedly pulled up the surveillance footage, which showed everything Bill had done the previous night. She just smiled and said nothing.
Sometimes the music takes control.
The female superior didn't find it amusing. She warned Bill that interfering with a criminal investigation could land her in jail. Bill looked completely innocent. "I just corrected a mistake of yours," she said. The detective got even angrier. He had been a policeman for 20 years. He wasn't going to listen to a cleaner's suggestions, but the female superior ignored him. She handed the case files to Lisa and said, "Continue your explanation." Bill put forward clear logical reasoning. The police suspected the victim's wife, but from the photos of the crime scene, it was obvious that she had obsessive-compulsive disorder. So why was one of the curtains left open? If she really were the murderer, she couldn't have left things in such a mess. There were also rope marks on the chair, but there were no marks on the victim's body. This could only mean one thing: there was another victim. Lisa concluded. There must have been a third person at the scene. The wife wasn't the murderer. She was just another victim. Her reasoning was impeccable, and even the detective couldn't find a flaw in it. But he still couldn't accept it. Only the surveillance footage could prove whether there was a third person. Just as he finished speaking, one of his officers rushed in with the latest news. A woman had been seen entering the house around the time of the murder. This made Bill's reasoning absolutely unshakable. The detective had nothing more to say. He could only look at the woman in admiration. The superior, however, looked thoughtful. Turning to Bill, she said, "We're still missing someone here." The woman looked shocked and said, The prisoner deliberately threw the baseball near the barbed wire fence. Then he pretended to go fetch it. He boldly crossed the warning line. No one noticed him. He glanced at the guards in the distance, but the guards soon spotted him. He immediately raised his hands, signaling that he was just retrieving the ball. Faced with the officer's scolding, the man grinned smugly, because he had just confirmed something important. This spot was hidden from the view of the watchtower. That night, under the cover of darkness, he managed to escape by crawling through the barbed wire, but the guards recaptured him just one day later. Yet he seemed quite pleased, for all this was part of his plan. It turned out that the prisoners here were secretly plotting a large-scale escape. 100 prisoners were preparing to flee on the same day. Their plan was to dig a tunnel. The plan was soon put into action. They first sabotaged a water tap, splashing the guards with water. Then a group of them gathered to block the view. Someone slipped out from under a truck and stole 2 iron bars, quietly passing them to their teammates inside. With tools ready, they started breaking through the floor. After careful consideration, they chose to hide the tunnel entrance, using a hammer to work on the floor in the hut. Their accomplices kept watch outside. They would send a signal immediately if anything went wrong. After several days of work, they managed to dig about 30 feet, but a new problem arose: how to dispose of tons of dirt. What was worse, the soil underground was a different color from the soil in the camp. This put them in a dilemma. If they didn't clear the dirt in time, when the prison conducted its inspection the next day, their entire plan would be exposed. Soon, one of them came up with a suggestion. The man squatted down slowly.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams and some honestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible.
Alert in an instant.